Hello there, I'm Sarah McCluskey and I am the host of the Research Adjacent podcast. I know you don't often see my face, mainly just my voice, and I just wanted to start 2026 by making a little video to record some of the things I've noticed about what 2025 was like for research adjacent professionals generally. So in the last podcast episode, which was all about my review of what 2025 was like for the podcast, I realised that I didn't actually really talk much about the wider picture. And so that is what this little video is about. So, as with any year, I think there was good and there was not so good that happened for research adjacent professionals. Some of the good things are that I think that both the work of the podcast and then also all the other people who have been talking about this issue, it's starting to get some traction, which I think is fantastic. So one thing in particular that happened this year is the Research Professionals Futures programme, which is being funded by Research England, led by Universities of Warwick and Durham, which is going to really look at how do we better support careers for research adjacent professionals and help with all the issues that we've been highlighting in the podcast around things like career progression, stability of contracts, all those sorts of things, which I think is fantastic. It's going to be a very kind of structural program of work, it looks like. And also seeing things like the PRISM network has been really growing, the technicians commitment, people have been talking about that a lot. And with the guidelines and things coming out for the next ref, also a very clear steer in there that anybody who is involved in making research can be named, which is one of the things that was a real bugbear of mine. So that's all really positive news. Of course, not all so good. If you work in the university sector in particular, there has been a lot of upheaval and change over the past 12 months, a lot of redundancy, which is really tough to see. And if that is something that has affected you personally, I'm really sorry to hear that. But I also have noticed a lot of people using that to take the leap into being self-employed, which is what I do. So it's fantastic to see people considering that option as well. But it's definitely not an easy ride. And so if that is something that you have decided to do in 2026, then do come along and check out the Research Adjacent community. There's lots of support there for people going freelance. And there is a workshop that I've run a couple of times, I will be running again soon, which is on getting started as a research adjacent freelancer. So keep an eye out for that one. And then I think there are just reasons to be positive even when things are difficult, and that is that I would say it's very clear that the skills that research adjacent professionals have are in demand. I have seen, particularly with now the confirmation of the ref, there's loads of jobs out there coming up, or there seem to be, from my perspective, lots of jobs for people working in impact, so that is really positive. And also just a reminder that research adjacent professionals don't just work in universities, and I know the sector is all really interconnected, and I've heard that there's been tricky times in the publishing industry, for example, and people being made redundant there as well. And there's some restructuring going on in the NHS, and I know there's research adjacent jobs at risk there. But there are opportunities in lots of different sectors, and for myself, for the work I do, I've been doing less work in universities over the last year or so and more work for civil service organisations, for example, who are also interested in implementing research. So there are reasons to be positive, and I think the community is stronger together. So I hope that as we go through 2026, I can do my bit to help bring that community together. So thanks for being here, thanks for listening, and for being part of the community. Stay tuned, and new episodes. There's been a little bit of a break over New Year, but there'll be new episodes coming from next week. So look forward to sharing them with you. Bye for now, and Happy New Year.